gonna need for ride and tie. It doesn't have to be fancy. You do not have to have an endurance saddle. You can use a Western saddle, synthetic saddle. I started out in a Western synthetic saddle. An English saddle, anything, any kind of saddle equipment is not required. Actually, I know somebody who does it bareback. So yeah, you can do it in anything. But if you choose, this is an endurance saddle, and it does have a sheepskin cover, which is kind of nice for your legs. But if you have English stirrups, a friend just told me, she takes socks, cuts the feet out, and slides it right on. So that if you're running in shorts, and you don't have to run in shorts, you can use leggings or tights, but in the summer, if you want to do shorts, you can. Back to the equipment, here's a water bottle holder for the saddle. You can put it on here, or sometimes I go to back here. And actually, some of the packs, you can actually put a water bottle in there, or you can wear a hydration pack. A lot of people do that because sometimes you tie your horse to a tree and you get lost, and now you don't have the water, which has happened to me. The next thing is, like, there's all different kinds of packs. Don't feel like you got to run out and buy a bunch of packs. You can probably deal with what you have. Here's a little pack up here, and I sometimes put my salt tablets in there for me. Don't forget that in a snack, a couple of snack bars in there. On the back again, I could either put a boot in here, or I happen to put a water bottle in here. And then, like, this one does hold a boot. And when I say a boot, I mean this kind of boot like this. So if your horse has to wear shoes on a horse and he loses a shoe, you want to get a boot on immediately because they could get a stone bruise. You can pick these up probably used or just check around. I carry two because I just want to be super safe, but one will probably get you to the vet check or wherever. Also, some people do the whole race in these, so don't feel like you have to put shoes on. Some people buy these boots and do that. They do glue-ons. So there's a whole variety of things you can do. Again, I put it in my pack. Also in my pack, I have a hook pick, and I carry an electrolyte. So some people electrolyte at the vet check. I always just carry one just in case I forgot to do it at the vet check, or I feel like my horse needs another one. While we're on it and talking, you can use any breed of horse. This is an American paint horse, and I've been using him for 10 years, and he is awesome at it. But Arabian's pretty much dominated, but don't feel like that's what you have to have. Appaloosas do it, quarter horses do it, gaited horses do it, a mule can do it, a donkey can do it, and you can even do it with a mini. I have seen people do it where somebody led the mini and they do the exchanges with a mini. So you don't even have to ride it, but it does have to be an equine. So unfortunately, a cow can't do it. I have a breast thing on him to hold the saddle, so going up a hill, the saddle doesn't fall off. Some people have something called a crooper, and it goes here, it attaches to the saddle, and it goes around the tail, and that's for when they're going down so that the saddle doesn't go over this way. The other thing I can say is just make sure that it fits your horse, the saddle. That's probably the most important thing, that it's comfortable. You have a really nice pad. I would say if you're using an English saddle, you can't use that thin pad. You've got to get a thick pad on there because you're on that horse a long time, and that would just be for the comfort of the horse.
Hi, we are here talking about how to tie your horse for ride and tie and what sort of bridle you might need to use. We all know our own horses. We all know what works for them. But a couple of examples are, this is a halter bridle that a lot of folks use, but you don't always need that halter bridle. You can use an English bridle, you can use a Western bridle, you can ride in a rope halter. It's whatever you're comfortable with and your horse is comfortable with. So as you're going out on the trail and it's time to tie, you really need to look for a good spot. You want to make sure there's not an embankment that your horse might fall down, ant hills, a bee's nest, poison ivy, just things you really want to, be aware of your surroundings. And so when I'm looking for a tree to tie to, I always try to find a tree that might have a fork or has some new sprouts. That way when I tie, my rope is not going to fall down. So one thing you never ever want to do is tie down low for several reasons. One is if you're tied low, your horse might fall and get hung up. The other reason is it could fall all the way down and your horse would be standing with its head down like this, you know, just standing there, and that's uncomfortable for them. So the other thing about tying is you might be in a spot where there are no trees. So you just have to keep going until you find something to tie to. And you have to tie to something that's available to everyone. If there's a hitching post on a trail, you can tie to that. What you don't want to do is bring your own stake to tie to. That is not allowed. So anyway, like I said, look for something with a fork or has little sprouts. And so I like to do a quick release knot. And so what I do is I take my rope, I bring it around, and I call it a bunny ear. I make a bunny ear, loop it through there, make another bunny ear, and just keep making the bunny ears, and then just pull it kind of tight like that. And then most of the time, it's fine. And then when I come up to get my horse, all I've got to do is pull it loose and get on and go. So back to the English bridle. If it were me, I would get rid of the cavesson and put the rope halter under the English bridle. I'm all about less is more. I don't want all this bulkiness on my horse's nose, so that's why I get rid of that. Okay. Some other options for tying are a lot of times, if you've got the halter bridle and you've got these clip-on reins, all you've got to do is unclip one side and tie. And all this is horse dependent. I mean, if you have a horse that decides to untie its rope, then you might need to go to plan B, which is what a lot of riding tires use. And this is just a tie rope with rings and knots, and it can be easily made. You just need a piece of like climbing rope or lunge line, rings, snap. So this end is hooked to your horse, and you know, again, you just come around. Some people wrap it once, some people might want to wrap it twice, and you can either hook it to the ring like that, pull it tight, or simply hook it to the rope itself and pull it tight. It really is horse dependent. And then if your tree doesn't have a fork and you've got one with the sprouts, just, you know, use the sprouts as a way to tie around. Just mainly to keep this rope from falling all the way to the ground. And then the last thing that I do sometimes is I've got my halter bridle and I just have a piece of climbing rope that I've already got tied to the halter ring. So I'm riding with it, so when I get off, I just use that rope and tie to the tree.
Right.
So if y'all want to come out and try this awesome sport of ride and tie,
Right there.
please
Good
come
boy.
hang out
Good
with
boy.
us. Please
Good boy.
ask questions. You can go to our website, rideandtie.org, or you can go to Facebook pages. We have the East Coast Ride and Tie folks. We have Ride and Tie, both on Facebook. We also have an Instagram page of Ride and Tie. But if you have questions, please don't hesitate to contact any of us and we will get back to you. We're all about promoting this sport. It's fun, it's family oriented, and it's just a cool sport.